Yeah, please share your screen. This one. So this was the error that was giving me. Okay. So first of all, go to line number 12. Make it small p.
Remove line number 11. Remove line number 11.
Okay, yeah. Remove line number 11.
Then try to save. Scroll down.
Yeah, scroll down and okay. Scroll up, please. Yeah. So you have starting bracket of box class over there in line number 1. Go to the end. Down, scroll down. Scroll down. Yeah. Go to line number 16 and put enter.
15.
16. Yeah, 16. Put enter and closing bracket, curly bracket. That is the one thing. No, closing curly bracket. Closing curly bracket. Oh, closing. Enter.
Press enter.
Press enter.
Remove this comma.
Remove double quote, please.
Both.
Yeah.
Press
Press
enter.
enter. Yeah. Curly bracket. Closing curly bracket. Closing curly bracket. The same which is there in line number 16. Same thing you need to make.
Copy 16 line and paste here. Control Z. Copy 16 line and paste into 7.
No worries. You can just press backspace.
Copy 16 line and paste.
Line number 16 now.
Paste.
And paste in line number 17. Okay, now let's see what other things you have. Line number 14, 15. Okay, area equals to height into base.
Scroll to the top.
So
he did not define area at the top where he said
okay,
double voice.
there is a spelling mistake. You can see in line number 12, you have written height as HIGST. In line number 14, you are using HEIGST. So please change the variable name.
Number 14, the height.
Yeah, copy this height HEIGST.
No.
See, you are using the variable name as HIGST in line number 12. Same should be the spelling. There is some spelling difference.
In line
Shan,
12.
let's do one thing. Let's take control and then we'll do instant.
In line
Uh,
12, Jerry. So
Yeah,
it says
this-
integer.
This is like
Yeah, public void triangle, integer. And then you have written HIGHT. Instead, yeah, the next two integer, this high HEI, yeah, exactly. Here. So it should be HEIGHT.
Great. Please
And
press
in line 14, now again line 14, you have
Mhm.
written area equivalents to, and then HEIGHT. Like make it exactly the same as how you have defined above in line 12. Like it should spell the same. So HEIGHT. Yeah, that's the issue. And also you need to define variable area now. That's fine. Like you can say, okay. So you have used the keyword area, but you have never defined it. You have just defined double volume. So in line number 4, you said double volume. So you have defined a variable name called volume. You need to also define another variable name, same like that, area. So in line number 4, above line number 4, you should say double volume, and before closing, put a comma after volume and space and write area, AREA. Yeah, and save.
Also remove double backslash from line number 3. Okay, that is it. Fine, that's good.
You need to also define the other methods that you created. So just these two you created, like volume and triangle. And was there a third one also?
Yeah, I was doing
Closing.
this. Mhm.
Oh, okay. Then the closing for the in here in this box that it's appeared. So second, and then the third line, put a closing comma as yeah, there. The dot and comma after 18 bracket dot and comma, like close it basically, like how you have closed line number 2 at the end, the dot and comma, dot and comma. Yeah. Exactly. Let's just execute.
mybox dot triangle. The spelling mistake is strangle. TRIANGLE.
So Jerry and everyone, the main thing is whatever spelling you are using, whether you are using method name, whether you are defining any variable, you need to use the same name when you are referring it. Okay?
Okay.
Otherwise, it will not be able to understand it, that which variable name you are using. And that might cause some issue. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
And you have already seen that due to those small spelling mistakes, you are seeing so many problems over there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to your code. Go to your class. Now go up. So you have exactly used the best practice when you use public class, box class. So whenever it is one of the best widely accepted way that whenever you write a class, the first letter is always the capital letter. And if you are using different combinations like box, class, then people write B as a capital, C also as a capital. Okay.
Okay.
So that different nouns can be identified easily. When you define any variable, as you have defined in line number 4, variable volume area. So whenever you define any variable, that should start with small letter. Same whenever there is any noun, you use capital letter to identify it. Okay. In line number 5, you are using the method name, public void, and then method name is volume of box. Same applies here. The method name should start with small letters. Okay. And
Okay.
all the variable name which you have defined, that should begin with small letter. That is the length, width, and height. You have rightly defined it. Okay. Line number 7, volume, you have defined correctly, and you are using small letters. So that is the way we use. Okay. So whenever you are writing any class, that should begin with capital letter. Whenever you are writing any method, any variable, wherever you are declaring, defining, or initializing any variable, that will start with small letters. Okay.
Okay.
And it's not like if you are using small letter for a class or the capital letter as a starting for any variable, then it will break. No, it will work properly, but it is industry-wide acceptable thing that we are going to write any class and that name will begin with a capital letter, or any variable will be defined. Whenever you are defining any variable, you are having small letter for them. Okay. And method name will also begin with small letters. And whenever you are calling any method, or whenever you are using the same variable in multiple places, make sure you are using correct spelling. There should not be spell mismatch. Okay. Your spelling should exactly match with what you have
Okay.
declared or defined. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, you have tried it and you have written this. Now, another homework was to find out the greater one between two numbers, max between two and minimum between two. So did anyone get time to work on it?
I did it, Sean. I used the if and else.
Great. So please, Jerry, do you have any other doubt, Jerry? Any other problem you are facing?
For now, no.
Okay, so please make her the host so that she can share the screen and we can see
Okay.
what are the things and how she has done.
Let me open it again. So yeah, apart from that, you said to do for trapezoid and hexagon, and I just did for that. And this is what Shanghai did for Max.
Okay. Now, as we were discussing, make your class initial, the first letter as a capital letter. Okay. For all the places wherever you are using any class name, make it on capital. And variable name that should begin with small letter. Okay. Now
Integer
you
is
are
also
seeing how you can create.
integer is also a class. System is also a class. So all these classes, wherever we're gonna use these classes, so it should be always capital. And whenever we are using method, so max num is always a method. So it should be start with small.
Small letter. Public void max small. Yeah.
Right. Great. Perfect. And system is also one class where S should be capital. So wherever the class is coming, so we should start with a capital. Wherever the methods, variables are coming, we should always start with a small letter, and it should be something camel notation.
Yeah, that's what I thought I'll use, and I thought it was not case sensitive. That's why I kept all of these small. But yeah,
So
I got
nothing
your
case
point.
sensitive here in Apex. Case sensitive only we do have JavaScript.
Okay. So yeah, this
Yeah.
is
So
what
pass
I did.
two values and check whether you are getting greater or not.
So it was 4 and 1, and the output it gave is if I change.
Okay. And where is for the minimum number?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't do, Shan. I just thought that you said for Max that we are supposed to create. I can do it right now if you want me to.
Okay. That you were doing for two numbers. What if you are having three numbers, four numbers, five numbers, or multiple numbers, right? There are chances, right, that you might use multiple numbers and you might not know how many numbers are going to be passed. There could be two numbers, five numbers, 10 numbers, 100 numbers, right?
So in
Is it
that
possible?
case, yes, true.
So for
That
that,
is
we use list. Okay.
Mhm.
And we use loops. So you have seen how to declare, define, and initialize a variable. That means go up where you defined volume variable. Yeah. So in this line, you have declared a variable, even multiple variable like volume, area, and circumference. So this is called declaration. Whenever you write any name, whether it's volume, area, or circumference, that is called declaring a variable. And whenever you write any type, that means currently you are writing double. That means you are defining its type. Volume is declaring the variable. Whenever you write double in front of it, you are defining its type, that it is going to hold which type of value? Double type of value. Okay. So in this line, you are doing declaration and definition. You have declared a variable named volume, area, or circumference, and you have defined its type that it is going to hold the value of type double. And whenever you assign any value to it, you initialize that variable. That means in line number 8, volume equals to some value you have written. That means you are initializing the value of the variable. So this much is clear. What is declaration? What is definition? And what is initialization of the variable? Declaring, you have just written some variable. Define, now you have defined its type. Which type of value this variable is going to hold? Okay. And initialize, that means the first time you put some value. And if you do not initialize it whenever you are declaring or defining, that time the Salesforce system, it initializes them with null. So if you do system.debug in line number 7 for volume, just do it and see what value you are getting for volume, area, and circumference. Write system.debug on line number 7 first. Write system.debug on line number 7 first. Now you can write anything like the value of volume before initialization inside single quote. Now, after single quote, you can put, before plus and the variable name, volume. Now save it and execute it.
None.
So guys, understood? When you do not initialize it by yourself, then the Salesforce system initializes it with null. The default value will always be null. Okay?
Okay, sure.
So this much is clear with everyone? Or does anyone have any doubt? Anyone, any doubt, any query?
I guess no doubt. So,
Okay, now let's talk about how we can store multiple values, like for this time multiple numbers in a variable. So for that, we have something called as list type of variable. In other programming languages, you also have arrays as well. We also call it array. But in Salesforce, array and list are same. Okay. So we have list type of variable. Okay. How we create it? Create one more method, public void give it any name, max numbers, and in bracket define list, put less than greater than sign, less than greater than sign, less than and greater than sign. Inside it, inside less than greater than sign, we define the type of the variable it is going to hold. So it should be integer because we are going to compare. And we can have anything, whether it's integer, whether it's double, whether it's string, whether it's anything, boolean, anything it can contain. Okay. Remove the space between less than sign and the list. Yeah. And then after greater than sign, put space and give any name to this variable like num list, number list, anything. And that will start with small letter. Always remember you are going to use small letter for that. Okay. That's it. Now, how you now suppose you have multiple records which is coming in a list, how you are going to iterate it, how you are going to pick the values one by one. For that, we have loops in Salesforce. There are many loops: while loop, do while loop, okay, and for loop. And for loop is very popular and widely being used. So we are firstly going to see how for loop works. So for loop, we write for, F-O-R, and then here, which type of values the list is containing here? What is the type of value the list is containing?
Integer.
Integer. So our variable will be of type integer. You can give any name for the variable. Here, there are two ways to declare or use for loop. We will use the most advanced way, where we will not use equal sign. Instead of that, we use colon. And then put num list, the variable name, list variable, which is coming. Okay. And then after bracket, after small bracket, put curly bracket open. Yeah, enter. Now here you will get integer I, means one value at a time. So write system.debug and you can write value of I equals to plus I. Yeah, plus I. Save it. Now call it from your anonymous window. Go to your anonymous window. Yeah. Write my box dot okay, my object dot xnum. But again, you don't have any list variable, right? So before calling it, you need to create a variable of type list. So after line number 9, put enter. Not here in your execute anonymous window, because from there you are calling, right? So there you need to pass integer list of integer type of value. So now declare, define and initialize list integer, give it any name, equals
Can I give the same name?
equals. Yeah, you can give some name. That's not an issue. Equals, because both are different. Both classes are different. Everything is different. So that there won't be any issue. Equals new space list integer, and then after that small bracket open and close, and then semicolon. So this is the way you initialize the list. That means you have created one object of type list, which is, and what is the type list? List which is going to hold the integer type of value and assigning it to num list. Okay, this is the initialization, but again, we have not put any value on it. So in line number 10, after put enter, in line number 10, in your execute anonymous window. Yeah. Now we have not put any value. So now what we need to do? We need to put some value. So use the variable name numList dot add add, and inside a bracket, create a bracket, small bracket. Inside a bracket, you can put any value, 5 or 10, whatever. Yeah, and then at last semicolon. Repeat the same step multiple times with different values. Numlist dot add any other value. That means now you're putting value, you're adding value in the list. And list also allows duplicate values, so you can also repeat the value. Now, what this num list, max num list is expecting, this is expecting the list of integer type of variable you are now passing. So put it num list, which you have already declared and defined, and put values. Yeah. Now only select that much which you want to get executed. So you can select from line number 1. No, from line number 1 you need to, because you have used the variable, you have declared and defined the variable. Select everything. Yeah, and there is one option, execute selected. So when you are having multiple things in place and you want to execute only the selected lines, you can use the same thing on anonymous window. Okay. Now you can see every time 5 to the order in which you have stored it, in same order it is going to give, because the list maintains the order in which any value is added in the list. So you got it? How the loop works, for loop works. Now you need to put the logic of finding out the maximum in the list. Okay, now put the logic. What would be logic? Now you got how you are going to iterate it, how you are going to get one by one values. Now you need to check which one is maximum among all the values which are coming in the list. Please put the logic.
So I basically want to define it in such a way that uh, I will create a variable at first, and the first value, like in for example 5 in this case, will be stored in that variable. And since the loop is like going on, so it will go like number by number. And so at first it will be 5. So at that time it will only just add the value, and it will, once it checks, so 5 is if, and then the logic of 5 with the next number.
Put it. Put the logic. That's the correct logic. You will, first value will be stored in a variable, right? Then you are going to check the second value with it, whether it's greater or not. So you can
Yes,
define,
but
you can define a
in,
variable which can be the max number.
so
right?
yeah, I can say max number, but the thing is, Shan, like I cannot put it at the first, because it will be a loop, right? So every time
So
this
you can
root will,
initialize it with 0.
at
Right?
first,
Yeah, whenever you are declaring and defining this value, you can initialize it with 0.
I can say,
And you can declare and define it inside the method. Anywhere that's fine. Wherever you are defining, that's totally fine.
yeah. So that,
Now use it. You can compare it, whatever value I is giving, whether it is greater than the maximum number or not. And again, you have used capital letter for the variable, which should be avoided.
yeah, but okay.
Okay, you should avoid capital letter for the variable name or the method name. Why you are putting num list? You have already, you are getting one by one value in I variable, right? And I is giving you the values one by one, which you have already tested, right? Then why you are using num list inside it? You should compare it with I, right? Because I is going to give you all the numbers one by one, right? So you need to compare it with
Yeah,
I.
oh, okay. Yes, Shan, but I am
Because I
actually
is giving you that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever value you are passing. That you are going to get through I. How you can compare the list with a number? No, that's not possible. And double equals is used for, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. That's fair. Single equal. Yeah.
Basically, Shan, now where I'm stuck is that instead of like, so if we try run it for one time before we initialize anything, so firstly we are defining max number is 0, then we come inside the loop and the num list starts to process one number by one number whatever we have. The system debug is it's going to just like print all those numbers, but then the if condition every time it's going to come and be like max number, which in this case will be 0. So is 0 less than
First time
that?
it will be 0. First time it will be 0.
First time it will be 0.
Second time, whatever I is coming, first time that will be stored. Suppose first time it was coming 1.
Yes.
I is coming as 1. So max number has become 1.
1.
Now, second time, suppose means third time. Yeah, second time is coming 5. Okay. So 5 is greater than max number. Yes. So 5 will be assigned to max number. Right?
Right.
Next, if it is coming 3, then 3 is greater than 5. No. Then 5 will be there inside max number. Then again coming
Right.
as 6. 6 is greater than 5. Yes. So max number is 6. So by this
Right.
way, you get the max number. And after
Yeah.
once your loop is over, your loop's curly bracket is over, you can, yeah, that's totally fine. You can just execute it. That's perfect. Yeah, execute it. Yeah, that's working perfectly fine, right?
Right.
Change the values in your anonymous window and see how it works.
Working fine, sure.
Similarly, you need to find out minimum. That's very easy, right?
Right.
Minimum of the list which you are passing. Okay. You can do it. What about others? Cherry, Tanu, Rolf. Are you getting it?
Hey,
Or facing any difficulty?
I'm getting a difficulty. I think I have to sit down and go over again.
So could you please share your screen so that we can help you out? Sonakshi, please. Yeah, tell me, Jerry. Yes,
I
Sonakshi, please
haven't.
make it. Yeah, tell me. You haven't tried, right?
Yes, yeah. I'm a little bit confused about it. So I have to
No
go
worry,
arrange it
no
there.
worry. You can just try it. Sonakshi, please make him the host. And Jerry, please share your screen. We'll do it. It's very easy. It's very, very, very easy. Right, Sonakshi?
Yes, Shan. I've made him the host.
Yeah. Jerry, please share the screen and we'll see how we can achieve this functionality. Sonakshi, you can try to help him. And if you face any difficulty, then I'll help jump in.
Okay.
Okay, sure. So, Jerry, do you want to make another class? Like go to file and new. Let's make a different class for this one.
Okay.
An Apex class. And you can say max number. It should be capital. M should be capital.
Like this. Is it the mark M supposed to cover the ends? Hello,
Yeah,
can
right
you hear
now.
me?
Yeah,
Okay.
no. Okay.
So it's okay now.
Yeah, just say okay. Okay, so we are here. And now inside this, we have to create a method.
Okay.
And you can name that as just inside the curly brackets, do an enter. Like do like double enter so that there's space, like do twice. Yeah, perfect. Now define a class. No, just like, you know, like how we have been doing earlier, like public void. Yeah, like how you created for triangles, circles, like that. So just write like public void. So like basically creating a method. So public void space void space public space space.
Oh, okay.
So no, between public and yeah, perfect. Void and space and give any name to this method. The starting letter should be small. So you can give it any name, whatever you wish. I gave it a max num list. So MAX. And then in new I'm list. L caps. So camel casing, I did. And then just like define like how you define a method. So like do a brackets. Smaller ones, open and close. Yeah, perfect. And then jump towards the other side of the bracket and enter, and then two curly braces, like open and closing of the method, basically. Curly braces, the bigger ones. No, the curly braces. Yes, and remove the small brackets from down, yeah, and above. Perfect. Perfect, Jerry. Now since so if you since this was like how I did previously, it was just like two numbers. Now since we're gonna do it for a list of numbers, so for defining like how previously, can you go to the box class, APXC? And do you see like how in these methods we have been defining, we are saying like integer height, like public void triangle. So the triangle, we need height and a base to calculate the area, right? So
Yeah.
we defined the two variables here, like integer and integer base, right?
Yeah.
Now, since this is going to be a list, so the definition of this would be a little bit different. But I wanted to like show you like why we'll add that. So now go to max number. Perfect. Now in between those brackets, so this is a method, right? The smaller brackets, max num list. Yeah, perfect. So here we are going to write list. So list, it seems, is the keyword that we used for like how we have an array, right? So in Salesforce, it seems they use the keyword list. And
Okay, so here we're not going to use like integers. We're going to use something like a list.
yeah, for
Okay.
instead of an array, like how if we define in Java, right? It will be totally different. We'll have those square brackets, we'll define numbers. So nothing like that we are supposed to do. Now you wrote list. Now you know those crocodile symbols, the less than and greater than. So
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, just enter those. Less than, great, perfect. In between this, define right integer. So since it's going to be like a list of numbers, right, to compare, like we are going to compare num1 and num2, and the type we are using is integer, I capital, integer.
Okay, so I wrote the integer over there.
Right. So that's perfect. Just write I capital, the integer.
Okay.
No, for integer I capital. Perfect. Oh, equivalent. Remove the equivalent.
Okay. Sorry.
That was extra. I got it. Now we define that there is going to be a list of type integer. Now go go outside of the less than or greater, the symbol, but inside the bracket. So we say, now put a space, and now we are going to name this list. Like you remember, like how we said integer height, integer base. So
Yes.
we defined a name. So now for this list, we are going to define a name. I wrote num list. So NUM, num list, number. You can say number list if you want. Small.
Is that what I'm
Perfect.
supposed to write? Mhm.
Perfect. So now go inside the curly braces that you put down below. You put two curly brackets, right, for the method. Yeah. Now inside method, we will define the logic that we want to put. Now here, define an integer and give it a name as max number, which will at the end store the maximum number for us. So write down integer, I capital, integer. Space, max number, M small. max, max, like maximum, max number. Perfect. And initialize this with now space equals equal 0. So at first, this will have nothing, like no value, like how in Salesforce we saw that it stores null value, right? So instead of null, we're going to define it with 0 value and put the semicolons, dot and comma. Perfect. And enter. And now, because it's a list, so we will use loop to loop over all the numbers. So we will use for loop, right? For f small, for, and in the bracket, give the smaller brackets, opening and closing with the, yes, perfect. Write down integer I capital
Inside the bracket.
inside the bracket. Perfect, right? Perfect. And space I, small letter I, and you know, like how sometimes you're using
what-
those columns.
What does the I means?
So I is just a variable that we are defining. You can even
Okay,
write there
okay.
your name, like,
Okay.
so it's basically it's gonna it is going to go number by number. Like in a list, there'll be plenty of numbers, right? So it's this I is going to help us with storing just one value at a time, because it's a loop, right? So it's going to help you go one by one. That this I
Okay.
is doing that. And now how sometimes you use colon instead of dot and comma, right? Use colons this time,
All right.
dot and dot.
All right. So should I use the right there?
Yeah, right. In like, no, the dot, the two dots, the above one of that in the keyboard. No, so the dot and comma
Yeah,
in
that's
that
what I did.
same, no, no, the dot and dot, I'm saying this time.
Inside the bracket, outside.
Inside the bracket, after I, use dot dot. No.
Use colon.
Yeah. This.
Colon, not comma,
Can
colon.
you check the chat? I just sent you. Yeah, perfect.
No, not this one. This is semicolon. Colon,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. This only. Now, the list name that we give. So that's num list. The same way as we defined above. NUM and LIST list. Num list. Perfect. Now, outside the bracket, put an enter. Enter, right? And give the curly brackets again. 2 curly brackets, open and close. No, curly brackets. No, the bigger brackets. Yeah. And remove the. Perfect. Now inside the curly brackets, give an enter. Perfect. Now inside the curly bracket, we will give the logic. Now here, we have to use a conditional check with the if else. So we will use if, write if, small, and brackets, small brackets. And here We define the number max number, right, at the top. So the same way, max number, all small. Is less than. Less than, yeah. Less than I. Small I. Yeah, perfect. Now, again, make another curly brackets for this if statement. So after the bracket, enter and open and close the curly braces, the bigger brackets. Enter.
Enter please.
Yeah, put an and give an enter. And now do curly brackets, open and close.
Okay.
Okay. Now here, so what the condition is at the moment, max number will be 0. We are checking if 0 is less than I,
Mhm.
right? And if that is true, then the max number should be replaced with the value of I, because we have to find the maximum number. So here we will say max number, the same way as above, max number. The spelling is wrong. You wrote N-U-U-N, so it's N-U. Perfect. Max number space equals equal I. You can give one more space I, and semicolons. End it. Semicolon, not blank. Perfect. So now that value will be stored. Now, go go at the end of the for loop. The curly braces. So go move your mouse down below. So max number equals to I. Then there is one curly bracket, closing one, where you define just now, right? Where your mouse is at the right. Now there is below this, there is curly braces, closing. There is one more closing. There is one more, yes. Below this, there is one more closing, right? Now put an enter. Right here, now at the end of all the loop, like however numbers were there, the max number is going to contain the final, like the maximum number from the list. So right there, system S capital. System dot debug DEB. Right. So the first one, you can use the first. Right. Now in between here, you can say maximum number. And just write like maximum number is what should be displayed, right, in the output. So just say maximum M. You can give here M capital also. So it's like the displaying statement, like so the maximum number is like that. Maxim MUM MAXIMUM. After an X, there should be an I. MAXI MUM. Space number space is
X axis sub or
right is IS.
or IS.
Yeah, And you can give an equivalent if you want, or just put a space. And after the comma, after the quotes, single quotes, write plus and max number.
Space.
MAX. No,
Space.
no, just together. Like how we defined above, right? Max number. MBER. Perfect. So at the first max number, we define 0, but at the end of the loop, it's going to have the maximum number in the list. So you can run it now, Jerry. Save it. And we still have one more thing to do. It's a lot of things actually. Now here, do you want to save whatever you have written above? Like save it somewhere, save all this, and we can delete all this. Save it somewhere. Like copy it.
Okay.
Control E, put Control E. Again, Control E on the, copy this 1, 2, 3 line and save it somewhere, like in your notes or something.
Okay.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. If you can, if you have to remove it. Put Control Z.
I remove it.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if you can write it again, so that's also fine. I was just going to save you some time, but it's okay. Right. So what was the class name that you gave? It was max number, right? So
Yeah.
max, MAX, M capital. Max number equal, space, and any object name that you want to define it. You can even write it X, like how we were using before my box, right? So you can basically define any object name. You can give it X, so that's fine. Give space equals and space and say new and space, and again write the same max number. Max number, and then the smaller brackets, opening and closing, and outside semicolon. Close it, yeah, and enter. And now the same way we need to define the list. So list, write list. And that the greater than less than sign. Inside that symbol, write integer I capital. Outside the symbol, give space and give it a name. Say max list or num list, because it's a number list, right? So n small, num list, list list, right? And space equals space new space list, And opening and closing of those, no, the first we have to write integer again. So opening and closing of the greater and small sign, and inside write integer, and outside this give the brackets, smaller brackets, and semicolon outside. Now enter. So now we will start adding value to this list, like whatever numbers we have to give. So write num list dot add add, yeah, and the smaller brackets, and give any number, whatever you
Inside-
want
Inside the
inside it.
bracket.
Yeah, and you can give any number. Yeah, and close it with a semicolon outside bracket. Yeah, and copy the line 3. Copy line 3. Copy, and outside, like do an enter, and do control, like paste it like many times. Enter and then paste it like few times, like 4 or 5 times. Perfect. Now the value 5, right? Change that, whatever number you want to add. So you can give any number. Should not be in like any order, like random numbers, so that it's better. Give like a bigger number here, so that, okay, fine. That's fine. Now, at the end, yeah, enter. Now here, write my obj. Sorry, you wrote x, right? So instead of my obj, remove, write x dot start, and the max num. So you give, yeah, max num n capital, max num n capital, num list. No, just num. You gave that method just num and list, L capital also. Oh, no. Small only you gave. Fine. And in the brackets, the smaller brackets, right? And here write num list. That's basically calling the method. Now outside, put a semicolon. Perfect. And execute. That's it, right? Let's see. Oh, yeah. So open the first one. Debug only. There you are. So your max number is 9. Now, one more additional thing that I added was, at first, it will basically tell all the numbers. So can you go to max number, Apex class? Right. And before, in the for loop, before the if condition, inside for loop, the curly braces. So below, at I, where I is written, if is there, if above first statement, right?
For here.
Yeah. So the for loop starts, then there is a curly braces, right? Like the starting first curly brace inside for loop, right there. Put an enter, like enter, right here. Now write here system S capital dot debug. You can use the first one. And here write value of I. Value of space O of I, space I. And outside the single quotes, write plus single quotes. No, inside the brackets only. So value of I and then ending of single quotes plus I. No, it's together. There should be no space. Perfect. Save it and run it. So that's basically going to display all the value. So open the so the highest number for you is 9. So yeah. I don't know how much you got it from that explanation, Jerry, but like just watch the video again if you didn't understand anything. But yeah, Shan, so
Great. So Jerry, any doubt you have? I know you must be having many doubts, but
I'm okay, but I'll still go back and then review it.
yeah, but revisit it again and try to create the program for minimum number. Okay.
Okay.
That will definitely help you in learning. So
Okay.
you learned how for loop works, right? You also saw something called as if. What if
Yeah.
does? If accepts the Boolean values true or false, right? And
Yeah.
using the condition like max number is greater than I or something, you are getting the Boolean response, whether this is greater or not, right? Similarly, you can do for the lesser or equals to, or many other things are there where you get the Boolean response. Okay. So it checks on Boolean. If it's true, then the code inside the curly bracket, which you write just after if, that will get executed. Okay. And if it's not true, then it will not get executed. We also have something called as else. So else, and then whatever you write inside it, that will get executed when the if is not true. If gets false, then else will be executed. If statement will not get executed. So we have if and else as well. So currently you have seen if, then you have also seen list, how to declare, define, and initialize a list. And you have declared, defined, and initialized the list of type number, right? Multiple numbers. And you can store hundreds of number over. Okay. And it will give you the result, whatever is the max. So instead of writing multiple times those stuffs, we use list, and list is very easy, right? Even though you are having hundreds of records, easily you can find out which is greater. Similarly, you need to find out which is the lesser one, the least number. Okay. Okay, guys. So you guys can check this recording and do the practice. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
okay, sure. Thank you so much, Shan. Take care, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Right.